What is up, Copy Squad? It's your boy Kyle Milligan of copywriters.com coming to you live from Delray Beach, Florida. And today we're going to talk about writing strategies to fix writer's block for copywriters. And we're going to talk about like what causes writer's block, like how to overcome it, and kind of try to give you like an overall writer's block cure so that you can, crank out incredible copy or whatever it is that you're working on. So I think we would start. I guess I could kind of start with a story. So this particular live, I had no idea about 20 minutes ago what I was going to do this live on. I was kind of scrambling for content, and I only had like 25-30 minutes to get ready. And I was like, what do I write? Or not write, but what do I create? What is my content going to be about? And that's like a form of writer's block. Like I had no idea what I was going to be discussing here or what kind of value I wanted to deliver today. And that's kind of like what gave me the idea for the topic, is how to break through that writer's block. And for copywriters, it's very specific. So what causes writer's block? It's different for like creative writers and copywriters. I think copywriters have to have an element of creativity to their skill, but they're not creative writers. The difference between creative writers and copywriters, I would say, well, let me not speak to what creative writers do or who they are or what the differences is for them. But for copywriters, you can blast through writer's block really quickly by doing a little bit of research, which is all I did for this video. So I was kind of like racking my brain, like what is my video going to be about? I don't have any comments or questions that I remember off the top of my head that I can do. So I went to Google, and that's basically how I come up with some of these topics. Is I'll start Googling random stuff that writers might struggle with. And I was struggling with writer's block myself. Basically, what will I create for this video? So I started Googling it. And when I Googled that, guess what came up? A bunch of different questions, like how to overcome writer's block. What's the writer's block cure? Like how, I got some answers right here, like writer's block ideas, writing strategies, how to fix writer's block. All that stuff came up, right? So people are searching for that. Those are questions that people have. And that's kind of like the words and language that I can use. So whenever you get stuck in copywriting, it's very much the same. For instance, you don't know what to write about, like, pick anything, all right? So, this one section you want to write about your guru's credibility. That's like an easy section, credibility section. You can blast through writer's block with some research. Like, start digging into their history. Look on YouTube for videos of them. Look on the news for appearances of them on TV or anything like in a magazine if you're someone more local, right? And find that stuff. Yeah. But basically, when it comes to copywriting, it's not here, man. All the writing is out there. All the writing is in research, which brings me to a pitch. If you go to copywriters.com/book, you'll see my book, which is currently titled Take Their Money. I'm thinking about changing it to something a little less aggressive. But on that page is a research upsell where I give you 6 videos about the research process, because the research does the writing for you. If you go to copywriters.com/book, you can pick up those research videos and learn how to do proper research, because it isn't inside of you, right? The information is not something you dreamed up. When we come up with all these promos, it comes from pages. Like my sales letters have usually like 60 or more pages of research behind them before I even start writing. So it's really important that you start there. You start with research, and then you take that research. I think someone said it was John Caples on one of my comments, said like get 7 times the research you need before you write. And it's so very true. You kind of need that broad understanding of the topic that you're talking about. You want to drill down into specifics, and then eventually you'll tease out a couple good lines out of all that stuff. So when it comes to like the writer's block cure and blasting through that, I think first and foremost, all right, let's say that's point number 1. You need to do the research. If you're stuck, then you haven't done enough research. You haven't gone deep enough, or you've researched too much of the same stuff over and over and over, and you need to look at it from a new angle. But whatever you're writing is coming from the research, dude. I'm not brilliant, I'm not clever. That's probably why I'm a good copywriter. I just mimic what works, and I'm good at doing research, I guess. So you can check out my videos at copywriter.com/book for the video research course. Okay, so that's point 1, research. The second point, I kind of got this idea from yesterday's, my email marketing video. I did like a email copywriting video like 2 days ago, and someone commented like the big takeaway I got from this video is that it doesn't need to be perfect. Like your first draft can be rubbish. So I think point number 2 is check your ego at the door when you have writer's block, because what you want to do is start getting the words on the page. So I had a job in sales, and one of my a supervisor's, like not my direct supervisor, like the guy above him. So like 2 levels up calls me in his office, and he says, Kyle, I know like so far you have like at the very start, I didn't have any. I was at my new B2B job. I didn't have any like grand success early on. He said, but look, let me tell you, dude, you are out activitying, you're out hustling everybody, right? So if you continue at this activity level, we can train you to make you more efficient as long as you have this level of output. It's the same thing with copywriting. If you can output a bunch of words on the page, if you can get stuff on the page, then you can critique it. Then you can optimize it. If you don't write anything, you can't optimize. So you need to get over like the fear of rejection when you write down the first page or the first draft, and recognize that it's supposed to suck. Because if you don't have anything to optimize, you cannot optimize. So step 1 is to do your research, right? You need to gather information. It does not come from you, it comes from the research. Then take that research and scribble something down, right? Take your ego out of it. Get rid of the fear of rejection and just type out what you think about that research. Even if you try to do something clever and you know it sucks, you need to get it on the page so that you can come back and optimize it. And if you go back and watch that email copywriting video I did, what was it called? I don't know if anyone knows. It was like copywriting for emails or something like that. Anyways, like 2 days ago, you go back and watch that, the first draft was pretty garbage, in my opinion, and I think most objective and talented copywriters would say it was pretty garbage too. My words were way too long. It read like a scientific sort of like matter-of-fact style of writing. It didn't read like copywriting. I had to make it punchier. I had to trim it down. I had to put in more exciting phrases and expressions or more intrigue, but I wouldn't have been able to do that without that rough draft. You need the raw materials to build the house, you know? You gotta have like a big pile of rock to turn it into like a Michelangelo or something, right? You know? So when it comes to writer's block, let me see if I got any other notes here. Yeah, so for my writer's block ideas, what causes writer's block? Okay, what causes writer's block? Lack of research. You don't have enough information to write down a crappy rough draft. And then second thing is fear of rejection. That's the second thing that causes writer's block. Because you're too afraid that your draft will suck or that it's not good enough, put that shit on the page. Write that garbage first draft. I think those are the 2 main strategies to get over writer's block in like a heartbeat. I think Stephen King said it, and it might have been maybe in his book on writing. I don't know, I don't remember. I think it might have been a Stephen King quote where like writing is like an old hose, like a water hose or something like that, where like when you leave it like off for a long time and then turn the hose back on, like a bunch of nasty water comes out the front, but eventually it cleans itself out and it becomes like clear, good water again. I think it was Stephen King that said that, but basically that's writing, and he's right. Like go ahead, if you're stopped up, if you got writer's block and you need ideas to help overcome it and strategies, that's what I say. Number 1, you are lacking research. You need to do more research. Number 2, you have too big of an ego and you think your writing is supposed to be superb and come out perfect and just flow like fucking rainbows from your fingertips. I gotta stop cussing or else I might get suppressed on like YouTube and stuff like that. I'm trying to up my SEO game. Now, I got any questions out there, guys? Let me know. Drop the questions. If you want help doing better research, you should check out kylethewriter.com/book. and scroll to the bottom and get the research upgrade. Also note that the research upgrade comes with the book at this time, so you don't have to buy both. I've had to refund some people some money because they bought both. I'm gonna give it like 1 more second for questions, and then I'm gonna sign off. If you're watching, please drop questions. No, I don't see any coming up. I'll answer them anyway. I always come back and answer them later if I get them. But that's all I've got for this session on writing strategies to fix writer's block for copywriters. Thanks so much for tuning in, Copy Squad. Check out kylethewriter.com/book. You can get my book and you can get those research videos. Peace out, Copy Squad.